Hello everyone, I am Magdala Ramirez and I'm very happy to be here with you. Here is Christine and my Sarah. We are preparing for Priestess ceremony. We have been very busy in many ways, and that is why this radio talk is a little bit later. Yet we have big messages for all of you to comprehend, to see what is going on. Yes, there is this intensity in the world, and the intensity has to do with your spiritual work. What is going on and what is happening in this reality? You can feel the I am within you, an existence beyond the time spaces, an existence that you are, that it is connected with a whole. There is all these movements about the sixth sun that it is taking place right now. As we have been explaining for a while, 2021, it is the mirror of 2012. It is the closing and the opening, and the closing again, the Alpha and the Omega. Everyone can feel this intensity. Last year, it was about that hope that you were working on it in such a powerful times. Now it is about that starting all over, starting that new concept of what it means to be human, a revelation within yourself that recognizes the times. You truly are seeing the things from the future back. You're seeing the consequences of everything and bring it into what you call your presence, which is only a perspective of reality, a consciousness that it is dictating you, or maybe even judging your own reality in one way or the other, the hologram. It is the time for the human being to master the hologram. Mastering the hologram is on the understanding of the system doesn't have any power over you. Realities can be changed. Understanding in these ways, it is very imperative for the people. The whole planet is moving into a higher dimension, and with her, all life forms that are able to match the new vibration. And then there is the old paradigm that it wants to bring everyone down, that hologram that it has been ruling you and enslaving you for a very long time. The gap is getting wider, and you can see people that they are still asleep, and you can see people that they are beginning to awake into a very different story of themselves. Their senses are being opened, and they are beginning to uncover new senses. New senses in that perception, it is giving you the power to understand that new match that you have with the earth, with the new world. As you know, everything it is linked with love. You're here because of love, learning the lessons of love. Good love, bad love, whatever it is love in one way or the other. And of course some is so distorted that you don't need to put it on. Yet recognition of that love, it is imperative at this time. The spiritual work, it is so profound because issues and situations that you have in your life are right there in your face. Things that you need to face it and deal with it. What are your choices? Because your choices are based on guilt, it's going to bring more guilt. Because your choices are based on pain and past experience, that is exactly the repetition that you're going to do. If your choices are based on, I don't know, greed, and you have all these things, that is exactly what it's going to take you. Because you choose based on that. But there are the other choices. The choices that you recognize that this is only a beautiful understanding of a world of oneness where everything is so deeply interconnected that when you make the choice for the highest good, that is exactly what it's going to take. How do you feel, Christina?
Yeah, thank you, Mom. I was thinking about what you were saying about, this discernment is what came to mind because, you recognize within yourself where you're standing and what choices you're making and what manifests from those choices. And then that leads you to either changing or reflecting or transforming. And even in the relationships that we have, we see it. We know it within our families, within the beautiful friend family that we have, that who is making what choices and how that's coming out in their lives and what that does for them or does not do for them. So it's helping through the discernment awareness of what kind of work you've been doing within, what I've been doing within, and then how that plays out into the reality that's around me. And now is the time we're seeing that in a big, big way and everywhere. People, like you said, are very much asleep. They have no awareness of any of these things. And there are people that are like, they get it or they're getting it and they're moving in a totally different direction, which is the other world that we're talking
about. When I think about the intensity, because I've really been feeling the intensity of these times, these last few weeks especially. And I think the understanding, once I was able to understand that a lot of what's happening is there is this mirror of 2012 and that right now I'm being shown the things that I need to drop that no longer belong, that can't go to the new world, that, lessons that I just need to resolve because I don't want to repeat them. In some ways, the intensity is giving me a force and a focus to move and resolve and, take care of the things in myself that maybe I hadn't seen that are being shown very clearly, where my spiritual work is. And I think I am feeling, or I'm seeing, Christine, like what you're talking about, like in my relations with other people, it's almost like crystal clear when, excuse me, seeing those situations where it's for the highest good and those that aren't for the highest good. And, that moment of choice and decision of where do I stand? What do I want to choose? What world do I want to be a part of? And, I think that intensity is tough because it has become very clear that some are not necessarily choosing for the highest good and not thinking about making those choices or those changes. And, I know for myself, I want to be coming from that place of choosing for the highest good of everyone.
There is this understanding too. All the relations are happening within your own self. And that it is very, very important to see. Because if everyone, it is happening inside of you, there is a whole new reality that each one of the people have their path. Each one, it is a different understanding of consciousness in the way that they relate within themselves, is how they want to relate with everybody, thinking that they need to change accordingly to the circumstances, and they forgot who they are. In that place, when you can see this within you, and if you are able to see the people as new every day, instead of base it on past experiences that you have with them, or label them inside of you thinking, well, these are the biases, these are the things, understandings, and that happens before previously that person, show up in front of you. You don't realize that when you can see the people as new, you are helping your community. You're helping all your relations. You're helping all your relations because then you understand that you are able to be yourself, and also they can be themselves in a very different story. You must remember at all times that your experiences doesn't define you, but what you learn, it does in many ways, because it shows you how to relate with you. It shows you what is the next step of that pyramid that we are moving forward in the evolution of the human being. The next evolution of the human being is precisely that. And many people are listening to this one, the one that created you. And it is providing the next evolution of the human being, using their powers and not being afraid of the nakedness of the soul.
Yeah.
You don't need to lie anymore or pretend anymore or change based on who's in front of you. You need to be honest and integrate all your emotions and your thoughts going coordinated one by one. You need to coordinate your stories and your genetics, all in that transmutation that it is possible for all human beings. That transmutation that it is about that letting go the old paradigm and jump into the new world. So be able to match the new earth. How do you feel about this?
Yeah, what struck me, what you were saying, I've thought about that seeing everyone new, I've had that in my mind for a while, because I'll not be in touch necessarily with someone that I've not seen for a while, and then when I see them again, I recognize that if I hold a bias that I knew when they, maybe 10 years ago, that not only doesn't serve me, that doesn't serve them. That locks them into a place that says you can't grow, you can't evolve, you are that. And it's like an identity lock or something. And if you, whoever it is, whether you knew them or you didn't, if you see them with those fresh eyes and that welcoming, open heart, you can feel who they are right now in front of you. Enjoy that persona of them, and not. So for me, it's like carrying the new forward constantly, because so many are working on themselves and so many are evolving, and it's beautiful to see that and to welcome that in, because otherwise you're not serving them or you. And I think we need to do that a lot more. I need to do that a lot more. Just keep an open heart and open mind about people. And you're going to be, I think, I have been very surprised in a good way to see this and to treat each other with kindness, respect, and tolerance, and all of those things that we hear all the time, but we don't necessarily do. So I think that's a really good point to what you were saying about that.
Yeah, the reminder that all my relations are inside me, that's a big one. And that everyone's on their own path. And I think one of the things I've been thinking about too is these teachings, it is such an honor and a privilege to understand and be aware of these teachings that, Ma has brought forward, and some, that have been hidden and that many people don't know. And so when I can put on what I've learned and live it and come from that place of raw nakedness, I'm definitely I'm helping my community. I'm helping everyone I interact with by showing, what that path of the true human being looks like. Even though I may not understand their path, that beautiful giving and receiving of understanding, so many things that were hidden. I mean, when I think about, I guess I've been thinking a lot about 2012 because I've been, seeing that mirror, and I can see the places in myself that I didn't have the knowledge that I have now and the teachings, and now I can see. Now I know how to resolve it, how to drop what no longer belongs, which is really beautiful and is really a privilege to be able to shift it and to evolve. That's my hope, at least. To evolve, to become a true human being.
In the silence, I shall find you. Remember at all times that before the movement, there is this beautiful stillness. Everything changes all around you. Right there in this point of the perfect harmony is where it is the next step. And that beautiful next step, it is what you're revealing to your own consciousness to be able to raise. It is true that there is so much commotion in that world that you call the third dimension of reality. There is so many things to do, so much pain and suffering too, separation of any kind. Yet look at the mountains. Look the peace that it is in the mountains. Look at the flowers. They recognize the time. No one has the problems that human beings have. No one in nature have all these distortions about this. Become one with that nature that you have always been. For human being has always been a peaceful being. And that peaceful being, it is being manifested. Peace, it is not about the absence of war. It is the nature that you have always been. Don't be afraid of your nakedness. Don't be afraid even of your shadow parts about it, that you're working on it. Don't be afraid of the light. Don't be afraid of that light that you are. Embrace that light, and it is time for you to comprehend and become one for who you truly are. You must remember at all times that the only one that you need to reach is you. And through that dance that you're doing, in that dance that going, in that beautiful journey that you are into it, it is the most powerful times in these civilizations. We must remember that human beings have passed through this one many times, for there has been many civilizations before this one. So you know how to make the jump. Understand that those decisions that you're doing, let it be based on the highest good of everyone, instead of feeling about guilt and shame and all that people has been so much under in this time and space. We are very grateful for all the trees that we're going to plant today and your help to get all these trees.
Yes.
We are very grateful for the door of the Temple 12+1 that we're going to
Yes.
do this today. And all these preparations that it needs to happen in Priestess just to start tomorrow in a good way with these teachings, the temples of the sacred land, that realm of beauty that it is right there for all of you to know. You must remember too that we do have a school online that it is about the spiritual work. It has been very, very amazing what it is going on in the school. I have seen people, oh my gosh, becoming great remote viewers with great wisdom. We have people developing different skills that are so amazing, beautiful. I'm so proud of each one of my people. It is everywhere, and you're my people too. We just find out that just in this month it has been downloaded this radio talk more than 10,000 people, and we're very proud. We have people from everywhere in the world sending emails. Be in touch. I love to hear your emails. And if I haven't responded to your emails, give me a chance. It has been very, very busy. I can feel you. I recognize you in me. Can you see me in you? Tlatsokomate, Tlatsokomate, Tlatsokomate. I am you.